we wanted to share with everyone. Some of you guys have already completed your application. You took it upon yourself to go through the orientation system, which is on the site. Well, actually, it's the links on the site. Let's go there right now. And okay, agents orientation, where you got your applications and your waivers and all that kind of good stuff. And you filled out all of this. And we are urging everyone to do so. There is one document that we do require that everybody completes prior to even starting this, and that is the franchise partnership non-compete and non-solicitation agreement. T. Nathan, Coach T. Nathan is going to share more with you.
Okay. Well, I guess the covenant to compete is a requirement that after talking with our legal team, and we had some situations. Normally, we may do it sometimes at the end of the training, but it's been suggested that we go ahead and do that near the beginning of the training. We had some challenges last year with an agent doing something they shouldn't have been doing. I think she was trying to get clients, and she got caught. And it goes from some of the simple things of non-competing to, and you'll get a document and it'll explain everything. So we're going to email that to everyone. I don't want to elaborate on it too much now, just that you will get a copy. We expect everybody to return it within 3 days to continue servicing you. It's going to say just basic rules about what you can do and what you can't do as far as to compete with copying information or anything that's out of the ordinary. That I don't have a copy in front of me, so I'm not going to elaborate too much on that. But like I said, it's just basically we're going to send this copy to you in email and try to get it back. We want to get it back at least by 3 days if you can.
Okay, thanks for that. Had to take a little break, you guys. All right, so yeah, the covenant not to compete, along with most of you've gotten your PTIN number, and so we want to get that in. It is required that, of course, when we email that to you, we'll probably do it tomorrow morning. Actually, our legal team will do it tomorrow morning, send it out to all of our agents and our partners. Most of our partners have signed the covenant not to compete. They already know. But those who haven't, we need this. It has to be done in 3 days. It's a requirement, it has to be completed in 3 days and turned back into us. Okay, let's move on to get this thing rolling. We got a lot to cover. Okay, tax preparer software essentials, navigating in the client manager. Now, all of the videos, if you've been on the Greater Tax Returns website, the agents portal, and most of you should know how to get to the training sessions, which are right here on the left-hand side. If you click on any of them and you scroll down to the middle of the screen, you'll see all of the webinar, all of the videos that apply to the webinar for that session of last week. So it's about 10 videos, and they have the times on them and everything. And the last video is actually the video of processing a return. Every last one of these videos show you how to navigate through the software. Okay. And it's real simple, and it's repetitious, and you can't go wrong with it. You really can't. So yeah, We're just going to take a minute. Returns. Okay, and we're going to scroll on down. And again, this is repetitious. So, it behooves you to go on the site and look at the videos. Okay, I've got all caps.
Oh, that's good.
Okay. Okay. For those who are new to our system, this is your client manager. This is the first line of defense that you'll get to when you log in, so you can recognize it. Okay. And this gives you just key information such as your message board. Say, for example, we want to leave messages for the whole team. That would actually go here. Any appointments that you set up will go here. Any federal e-filing summaries, and we have 35 examples in here. Any state summaries will go here. That's all your clients that you would file for the state. You can kind of at a glance see what's going on with those files. And then anything that's going through the bank. So once it finishes the federal, the state, you can actually see what's going, if it's reached the bank. And
One of those rejects?
You want to share about the?
Yeah, click on one.
Okay. So now there was somebody who asked about how do we handle rejects.
Okay.
Can
you click on it?
Yeah, sure. Let's.
Okay, just elaborating really quick because in case you get a reject, you want to scroll up. Now, in the case of these folks here, Carlos, well, everybody see his name. So this person did get his return, but he couldn't get it electronically. He had some discrepancies that we're going to say some personal issues. Sometimes we have a significant other and there's some kind of situations going on. Let's look at that question right quick if we can.
Okay.
Let's see if we answer at the same time. Documents with this software.
Yes, you can, even though we don't suggest it right now, because we want to make sure that if there's any glitches, you've got your files. And let me share with you this way. You want to do both. You want to upload it in your email, your Google Cloud, and or you want to email it, upload in your Google Cloud.
Okay, back to the rejects. And the bottom person here just happened to already, somebody filed her return. Used the Social Security number that she had on file for one of her, dependent or so. So as you see, if the number is incorrect, the social is incorrect, if the name is spelled wrong or differently from what it was the previous year, the same thing we had from Carlos King last year. We had just Carlos King and not Carlos Dixon King. And it wouldn't let it go through until that name was put in as it was for the returns that has normally come through to the IRS. So for a variety of reasons, it basically is usually the wrong number, and they won't go through until that's correct. You hit correct status, and we'll show you how to do that at a later date. But you hit correct status, and you go back and work out the problem that it suggests for you. And just a quick synopsis on that one.
Okay, so you'll see everything up front and center on your Office Manager, and that's so important to understand it so you can get into it. And then as Coach T. Nathan McGee coaches you, he'll share with you what all these variables mean, like your queried list, accepted, transmitted list, reject, as he moves along. Okay, so we're moving right on along. Let's take a look at your intake form and your standard documents that your clients need to submit based on filing status. So we're simply going to go over here. We're going to go to your agents portal, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom of your portal. And we're going to run through this really quickly. And I suggest that you download Here is your Greater Tax Returns questionnaire for your client questionnaire. You get to know this questionnaire because this is the backbone of your business. Now, I know we tapped into this some in the first session, but we didn't really go through it. We talked about the importance of it the first session, but we didn't go through it. We do have a video already put together for you that will take you step by step through it. But I just want you to see it and get to know it so that when you connect with your client, you're right. This is the backbone of your company. This document right here. Everyone who processes their returns fills out a questionnaire, and you can send this questionnaire to your client. They can print it out in a computer or take it to Kinko's or wherever they can get printing from. Print it out. They can take a picture of it. You can take a picture of it, send it to them. There's a lot of ways you can get it to them. They fill it out, sign it, and get it back to you. The first part of the segment of the section of the questionnaire is for office use. This is your information. One key thing is the client will see this, your name, your email, the date they receive it, and who referred the client. So that way, if they're going to get a affiliate finder's fee or a commission, we want to make sure we know who that is when we get this copy from you. Did you interview by phone or in person? This lets us know how you met with the client and also the location. And you can actually type in here. The client can type in here from their computer, okay? Also, you want to fill out the information, the primary information, which is the person who usually makes the most money, what filing status is, the primary address, the spouse's name, and information. And we're going to go down real quickly. Number of dependents right up front and center. And also, has anybody's identity been stolen? It lets you know right then and there. And if so, did they receive a taxpayer identification protection number from the IRS? You want to ask them that, but this questionnaire basically asks all the questions for you. So you don't have to worry about memorizing what you need to ask the client. Right. Okay. Did here's another good question. Did the client file last year? If they did, they can also send you a copy of their tax return. One of the reasons why we do it is we want to try to get them more of a refund and or reduce their taxes. So if we can compete with the person that actually did their taxes the prior year, that's a win-win situation. Social security numbers, driver's license, occupation, and so on and so forth. We're going to move on down real slowly. Date of birth, date of death, if they have a spouse that passed away. Are they employed? Are they unemployed? Do they have a 401k and their employer name and information? They got to add to this. It's a 6-page document. Are they self-employed? And if so, do they have an entity which can be a sole proprietor, LLC? Are they a partnership? Are they a 501c3 or corporation? And if so, you want to get that information because now we can do self-employment on them. And if they can get the earned income credit, this can seriously help them tremendously. Also, do they have an EIN number? If they don't have an articles of incorporation and they don't have an EIN number and they're self-employed, let's say they do hair out of their home or they do auto mechanics, they in the backyard, but they make money, they earn compensation. They can literally use that as earned income in order to substantiate their income. And then we provide a service that can help them apply for the EIN number and the articles of incorporation. Okay, so let's keep on moving. Social Security benefits, disability benefits. Are you a dependent of someone? That's a good question. It lets us know what's going on with that. If they're dependent. Are you delinquent with child support? Because if a client is, And that means there's a possibility that the IRS will keep their refund. And if that's the case, they may have to pay you upfront their fees. Okay, and then here's a list of all the dependents that they may have. Do you pay for child care? That's a good thing to know, because if they pay for child care, there's a child care credit. Okay, up to, I think, $3,000 a year. So you definitely want to, inquire about that. Now, the way this works is if they have a child care provider, it could be your mother, it could be your sister, it could be a provider itself, a company or a business. You want to get the EIN number of that business or the social security number of the person who's actually keeping the kids, and their address and name and so on. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on down. So just simply follow the form. It's very self-explanatory. And then any documents, as you can see, here's a list of most of the documents that you would need the client to submit into you. And that's it. It's just that simple. Just that simple. And also, how would they like their refund? Would they want a debit card? Do they want us to direct deposit? So you add their information here. Okay. If they want to pay by credit card, let's say they owe us money, they want to pay by credit card, they would add it here, the card information here. And then we have a process. Each of you will get a set of cards, of debit cards that you would process through the software where they get their own debit cards. It's a real simple process. And that's it. They would sign, they would read the disclaimer, sign, and that's it. That's the questionnaire. Any questions? Please, download the questionnaire, okay, so that you can get to know it, get used to it, and always keep copies on hand, and or you keep one on hand to send to clients when they need it. Email it. All right. The other form that we want to familiarize you with is something that you probably want to make sure you have on hand at all times. And this is something that's new that we added to our log of forms, and that's the standard documents that your client needs to submit. So it's 2 documents you really, really need. You need a questionnaire, and you need this, because this document lists all the documents a client may need at any given time, whether they're single, married, head of household, or widow. The only thing that you will need for an additional situation, and if that someone is self-employed, is our self-employed ledger. Okay. And again, you have, if the person is married filing jointly, or let's say head of household right here, you would need to complete that questionnaire that I just shown you. And these are all the documents, depending on that person's situation, that they will need to bring to you. Okay. You can simply ask them these questions if you want to. It's up to you. Do you have an EIN number? For your business? Do you have you got to have proof of health insurance? And then they'll tell you what type, or you can tell them. Okay, residency. Do they have a lease agreement? Now, what are we doing this year about proving residency? Are we doing anything extra special about proving residency to get the Michigan rentals credit, leasing renters credit?
Well, they have the address and if they rent, some kind of bill documentation would be sufficient. And I'm going to do a Michigan State this evening too, so that'll be fine.
Okay. So Coach T. Nathan McGee is going to do a renter's when he processes the return tonight, he's actually going to show you how to actually file for the state on the software as well. You can look at the past 2 weeks videos to look at other ways of processing a return. Now, if the client says that he rents or she rents, if they bring in a light bill, a gas bill, or something proving that they are at that location and that they're renting, that's good. They can get the renter's credit. If a person is a student, You got proof of that. Okay, we have a question up here. If person is paying fees up front with debit card, how are we accepting their payment? We have a credit card payment process that we utilize for accepting payments, and or you can do it manually. We actually have the form that can be filled out, and then you submit that into the company. Right, in the agent's portal. So you can, that's how we accept our fees if it's done by credit card. Also, we have 3 ways of doing it. You can do it manually, you can do it through our merchant terminal, or through PayPal, invoicing the client through PayPal. What about homeowners deductions? When we get to that point, we'll talk about homeowners deductions. But right now, we're just going through some of the understanding what documentations you will need for that. You're welcome for that. We will go over that in a little bit, and probably at a later date in terms of the homeowners deductions. Okay. Any type of student documents that you need for students, such as what's the form that you would need from a college?
The 1098T, also 8863. The American Opportunity Credit is one that you can get a lot more from. Trump tried to change it. He was trying to change some of that.
Okay. I'm hoping everybody can hear Coach Nathan clearly, but there's 2 documents that usually a person that's a college student will bring you. Okay. And if they don't have their documentation on them, they can simply go to their college online and get that documentation right online from the college. Okay. And it's just that simple. If you're dealing with students under 18 years of age, again, a report card with the name of the school, the address, the phone number, the year of the child is going to that school, and it has to be the current year. Can't be like 2 years ago. And it has to have a date and the address of the school, and also your address has to be on that document as well. Dependents, birth certificates, Social Security, cards, because you want to have a copy of it. Any type of foster parenting, guardianship information. That's huge these days. You have more and more people taking care of children that aren't necessarily the parents of that child. So you got to have proof that it's okay for that person to claim that dependent, and you definitely want to make sure that you have all that. So that's what this form is about. You can jot on it, you can write on it, you can do whatever you want to do, but you should always have this with you until you just learn once you get used to knowing what documents you need, you can disregard it. But right now you have this list that's pretty cool, I think. Well, I'm gonna share this with you. No one gave me this when I started. Sometimes you know, when you're dependent on the type of training you get, they don't give you all of what you need. And I kind of wish I had this, because you can just go down the list, make sure you're covering all your bases. And again, the clients, especially if they've filed taxes in prior years, they automatically know what to bring in. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, that's it for our forms. Okay, marketing essentials. We're just going to touch just a little bit about where to find and recruit affiliates or agents. Building your network is key. One thing when we look at building our network, we always think about what we could do, but what about what other people can do for you? For example, I met a young lady who is a part of a sorority. Great girl. And she wanted to start something to generate an extra income, generate extra line of